Hi guys, Laurel Mintz here with Elevate My Brand. Today I want to share with you a little bit about my leadership style and how you can show up in a really positive way for your team. The first tip I want to talk about is really focusing on the successes, not the failures. Now, you guys know that I really don't believe in failure. I believe in lessons, but I'll be totally honest with you. Historically, I was not always that way. I would show up and something would go wrong and I would just lose it, right? We've all been in that situation where we just aren't handling the pressures really well. And I'll tell you, my team didn't respond well to that. But now what I know is that we can have really intelligent conversations and we can understand what processes and procedures we need to put in place to make sure that those fail points don't happen again. So now I have more of a mentality of, okay, that happened, what's the lesson and how can we move on? And I'll tell you, it's a much more safe space for people to fail. And again, it's those failure points where you have the biggest lessons in your career. I would say the number 2 point in showing up in positive leadership is that it's a much more encouraging and engaging team atmosphere. That means that your team's probably going to be with you a lot longer, right? Nobody wants to show up to work every day and feel like they can do no right. And so coming to the table with really communicative skills and making sure that you're not focusing on the negative every day is going to also ensure that your team feels comfortable having those conversations with you, and they're going to be likely to stay with you a lot longer and not have that churn. That's frankly very expensive for small businesses. The third piece is about just encouraging a communicative workplace. I think I kind of already spoke to that, but it's about your community and lessons that we can all learn together. Because if one person learns the lesson and there's no consistency across the board, then the likelihood is that someone else might have that very same fail point. So making sure this is always a collective conversation is really critical. And the final point is that we don't want to show up and be a Pollyanna, right? I hope that you're not taking all of these and saying, oh my God, she's so full of shit. Like she's just so positive and all that. I'm really not. I'm just realistic about who I am and who my team is and what we are capable of. And I'm also really realistic that failures happen. They have to be a part of this conversation to evolve and grow as a team. But you also don't want to show up with what we call toxic positivity. So don't be a Pollyanna. Don't show up and think everything is roses and sunshine and everything is perfect, because that is just not the reality. So there are kind of those two extremes. Like don't be super negative. Don't focus on the failures, but also don't be unrealistic about the fact that people do fail. Nobody wants to feel like they have to be perfect all the time. And really, those are some lessons that I have learned and that have been frankly really hard to learn across the last 12 years of running my agency. And now I really feel like I can show up in a positive light for my team and for my clients and learn the lessons we need to learn to continue elevating our own brand. And I hope that you will as well.